Hi everyone, Corey here with Team Kramer Fishing, and this video is going to be a product review of the Wenzel Evergreen 6-person tent. Okay, we've had this tent about a year here at Team Kramer Fishing, and it went on a big long trip with us last year to the parks of the Pacific Northwest, the national parks. We went from Iowa all the way up to Montana, North Dakota, all the way up to Washington, down the coast of Oregon. We came back through Yellowstone and Wyoming, and all the way back home. So for 17 nights, this tent was packed up and taken down almost every single night through a variety of different conditions. And we've also had it out on a couple other camping trips since then. So this is a 6-person tent. The dimensions of the floor are 11 by 9. So we can fit 4 full-size adult cots in here. Now on our trip we had 1 cot and 3 of us were sleeping on the floor on mattress pads. And there was plenty of room for everything in there. So I would say comfortably this, for a family of 4, this tent works really well. Maybe even a family of 5 if you have some smaller kids, or 4 adults. You can make it work either way. I chose this tent because we decided to take our car on the big trip that we were going on, and space was very limited. So we didn't take our SUV because we were traveling so many miles across the interstates. And I was looking for several things. I wanted something that didn't weigh very much and didn't take up very much space in the car. So our other tent weighs about 40 pounds. This one weighs 17.86 pounds. So half the weight of our other tent. Also, it fits into a bag that's about 9 by 25 by 9. So pretty small space-wise in terms of how much space it takes up, and pretty light given the amount of space that you get on the interior. The other consideration that I had was I wanted enough space that I could stand up inside of it. So let's take a look inside. Okay, so I'm 6 foot tall and I have a good 6 inches above my head. So if you were 6'6", you know, you could get in here, move around, change your clothes, you know, do whatever you needed to do in here. If it was raining outside, there's a little extra room in here. That, you know, you won't be completely cramped up. So it has 2 of these doors that open up. If you take the rainfly off, you'll notice that it's screened all the way down to the bottom. So if you get in a situation where you want to look at the stars at night and it's nice out, you have like a spot on the beach, and you want to take the rainfly off, it's pretty well. I mean, it's like a giant screened-in porch. It's really nice that way. You get a lot of breeze. Now the downside to that is you'll see that the screen comes down all the way here. So when my wife Heather was sleeping on her cot, it rests here, and if the wind's blowing and it's cold outside, you get a breeze that kind of comes right across your face if you're sleeping on a cot. So she got a little chilly. I mean, some nights got down into the 30s on our trip, which brings me to the next note. I would classify this mostly as a summer tent. So I just got it out. It's early May here in Iowa. Going on a camp out next weekend. I would say May through September, this tent will be fine. You can go down into the 30s in it, you know, as long as you have your sleeping bag, and you'll be fine. But getting into the early spring or fall, it can be breezy, you know, which is great in the summer, but not so great when it starts getting colder out. Okay, so one additional factor that came into play when I decided to choose this tent was that I wanted it to be easy to set up and take down. And it is very easy to set up and take down. It's basically a simple dome tent, except for it has 1 extra pole. So instead of having just 2 poles that crisscross, it has 3 poles, and you get a little extra support in front. Now the extra support in front works well, but one of the issues with the tent is that when it's windy, it kind of looks funny because it always looks like it's sitting like at an angle, like it's pointed forward into the wind, or even if there's not wind, it looks like it's slanted. That's how it's supposed to be. But what can happen is, since it's kind of long and tall, when the wind catches this back side, particularly when the window's closed and the rain flies on, it has a lot of flex, and it will I wouldn't say it would completely flatten this, but if you're sleeping with your head down at this end on a windy, say 20-30 mile per hour wind, it will flatten out and touch your head, which is kind of annoying. When I first got the tent, I was a little worried that it was going to collapse on me. However, when we were at Yellowstone, we had a big storm come through. We weren't in the tent when it came through, but when we got back to the campground, there were tents that were completely destroyed, and ours was still standing like nothing happened. So my sense is, even though it doesn't feel the most secure in the wind, that it has kind of a bend don't break approach to it. So I feel pretty comfortable now that we've kind of put it through the paces. I actually was afraid to put this Rainfly on when we were in Theodore Roosevelt National Park because the wind was blowing about 30 miles per hour solid, and it was the beginning of our trip, and I was a little worried we would break a pole or something like that. I didn't know because we hadn't used this tent very much. So, but I think it would be okay. It would be it's going to shake around a lot. You know, you're not going to feel really safe in it. But I really do think it's more of a bend don't break design. And since it's double reinforced on the front, if you put your head, I usually sleep with my head down at that end, which is probably a mistake. If I put my feet down there, if that flex on that, if it came down, you know, it wouldn't probably bother me as much if I had my head down at this end. So, you know, there's always trade-offs when you get tents. Some will be really stiff, some will be harder to put up, some will weigh more. I will say this tent is very dry. I treated the Rainfly once with, you know, like a basic sealer that you get like from Walmart. The kind that has the orange cap is the kind that I used. We've gone through rainstorms with it, and it stays very dry. So it is dry. I wouldn't say it's the most durable tent. I mean, the lightweight comes with a price, and we haven't had anything. I did upgrade these stakes. Comes with the normal little kind of crappy aluminum stakes. I bought these other ones for like $1 at Walmart. They're a little bit stronger. They still bend and they're lightweight, but they're not as crappy as the ones that come with it. The bigger ones are the yellow ones. They work pretty good. I mean, but wear and tear wise, the only issue we've had, I think we got this caught in the zipper here, and you can see that I would need to reinforce or resew that. This little section right here started to come undone. And I would say, generally speaking, you know, you're not going to get years and years and years. We have a Coleman Weathermaster that we've had for I don't know how many years, 7 years maybe, and it's still going strong. I wouldn't expect this tent to last that long with the same kind of use, but I mean, we've had it in and out, you know, over 20 times now, and it's still in pretty good shape. That's probably the only issue other than some bent stakes. So it only costs $111 on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. So price is another big factor. I mean, this is not an expensive tent. So what you get for your money is quite a lot. If you have a family, if you have a small area that you need to pack your tent in, if you want a tent that's easy to set up, that's dry, and that's not very expensive, that you can stand up in, especially in the summer, or if you camp in hot conditions, it's a great tent for if it's hot outside. It has tons of airflow to it. These two big windows, air coming in through the sides and then the back window, it works really great when it's like miserably hot out. So overall, you know, I would give this a solid 4 out of 5 stars, maybe up to 5 out of 5 for the specific use. I mean, I don't think we could have found a better tent for the price for what we were trying to do with the 6,000 mile trip where we're packing up and taking down every day out of a car with a family of 4. So definitely check it out and consider it if that's the type of tent you're looking for. If you're looking for one that's going to last you like 10 years, that can go through any storm, that's a full 3 season, you're going to have to get something that's bigger and something that's heavier. But for most of the camping, you know, we basically choose now. We look at the weather. What's it going to be like this weekend? If it's kind of fairly nice, we'll take this one. If it looks like it's going to be like rainy all weekend, we'll take our other one. It has a big screened-in porch on the front of it, and it's a little sturdier. All right, thanks for watching Team Camper Fishing. Click the subscribe button if you want to get some more reviews. And we do a lot of camping and fishing, mostly a family camping and fishing channel. Thanks a lot. Later.